What is up, guys? N64 Slayer here, and today I'm going to be talking about the new controller that's coming out, or is out if you're looking on AliExpress or dropship websites. It's like the Vader 4 Pro, but more pro. Now, it's the G6 Pro Star Flash. This is a new version of the original G6 Pro on screen, and it is way cooler looking and has quite a bit more features. Now, first thing, we're going to look at the spec sheet. Okay, so I pulled up a picture, and this picture is essentially the spec sheet of the controller. So this uses Neuralink StarFlash Super Connect, which is a microchip that controls the pulling rates or the wireless connection of a controller. And as you can see on the spec sheet, this is a 2000 hertz chip. 2000 hertz on a wireless controller. That is insane. 0.5 ms. Wow, that is something. 1%, less than 1% deviation. I think it's the joystick. The inputs on the joystick are within, and the triggers are within 1% accuracy. So that is really good. Easy hot swap. So this is a hot swappable controller. You can hot swap different tensioned joystick modules onto the controller, and these are it says 4096. It's hard to read. 4096 wireless, which is essentially 12-bit. So your standard PlayStation controller has an 8-bit resolution joystick, and your standard Xbox controller has a 9-bit resolution. And so essentially this is how accurate and how many steps in the joystick there are. It's essentially mouse DPI. But in this case, it is super helpful as compared to mouse DPI, where it can be helpful, but it's usually not used to be more accurate, is what I should say. Now this uses mechanical switches. Every button, D-pad, whatever on this controller uses mechanical switches with 5 million clicks. It has micro-linear one key switching, which this is the trigger stop. It is a micro switch trigger stop. It's 2 modes, on or off, and it's Hall effect, as you can see, Hall effect trigger when it's turned off. Now, I don't know anything about the vibration. I'm assuming this is like the HD rumble of the Nintendo Switch controller. I don't really know, but sounds cool. It might be really cool. I don't know what the native optimization is. I can't even read that. It says inspiration. I have no idea. I think that has to do with gyro. I don't know. Lightweight trigger pressure. It has rubber grips. It seems that it doesn't go all the way back, but I know it's on the front. And I don't know how far back it goes. I'll look at a different picture in a bit. Starshine Bluetooth wired. Yep. I think you'll only get the 2000 on the wireless dongle, which is what I think it comes with. Bluetooth, I don't know what Bluetooth it is. It's probably 5.0. No idea. Wired, it's probably going to be 2000 hertz wired. Maybe 1000, not sure. And then you can use this on PC, Nintendo Switch, and TV, mobile phone. Not that anyone uses this on their TV. Who uses this on their TV? Here's the joystick hot swap modules. There's a 320 gram one, gram force, which is just grams. 540 grams, 700 grams is the standard, and then 880 grams. I don't know how stiff or whatever that is. Now, it's not as nice as the Vader 4 Pro, where you can, or the Apex 4, where you can adjust it to whatever. This is a set force. Like, you can't change it. You just swap the module in, and that's what it is. Which is fine. It doesn't really matter. You'll get used to it anyway. As long as it's a harder tension, it should be, or stiffer, it should be good. 7 decibels anti-interference. I'm assuming that means that it's not as likely to disconnect. 20-meter long range, and this is the dongle. Holy shiznits, does that dongle look insane? If it looks like that, I don't know if it's just fancy effects, but if it looks like that, dang, you already know it's gotta be the best dongle looking dongle I've seen yet. Ultra small volume, not sure what that means, but yeah, looks incredible. So 500 W times, I don't know what that means. 90 plus 1% degree of plus or minus 1 return to middle offset. So that means less than 1 degree of joystick, like, so on when your controller, you can just barely wiggle it or move it, and it will move the joystick ever so slightly. That is essentially your offset, your middle offset, and the higher that is, the harder it is to get a perfect standing value or perfect sitting value, whatever. I don't know what it's called. In fact, I'll look at it. Hold up. Or perfect resting value, I should say. Perfect resting value. Now, essentially, you will get drift in that middle offset because your joystick can move in that offset. So even if your joystick is still, it can still drift. And which this is really nice because it's less than 1 degree. So you can just set your dead zone to 1, and theoretically, you should get no drift. And if the time comes where you do inevitably, the recentering spring does go out on you, it does get loose. I don't know if these use recentering springs. I know the Vader 4 Pro does not. The Apex 4 does. But they are really nice modules, and I think you can tighten them. I'm not sure. But if the time comes that you need a new joystick, just buy another pair. Hot swap it in, good to go, less than 1 dead zone back again. Rotation angle, 30 degrees. I'm assuming that's how far you can move the joystick until it hits the faceplate. And full hair effect trigger. So electromagnetic trigger, 255 steps, just like the Apex 4 and the Flydigi Vader 4 Pro. 0 to 100% dead zone customization, which is really nice. So this is a 2 back paddle controller. There's 2 back buttons. It seems that there is a option to change the profile or the configuration of the controller. I think there is a software and macro support. I did hear that this D-pad is really good. I think this will be the best D-pad and best controller to use for fighting games. I don't know if I think it's an 8-way micro switch, but it's unlike the Apex 4 and the Vader 4 Pro. It has less, it's harder to push. which I've noticed with these two controllers that it's very easy to do roll-offs, too easy. And I know a lot of people hate that for platformer games. I know a lot of people like that for fighting games. So this is hopefully a middle ground, or I don't know. I don't play those types of games. I play FPS games. So that's up to you if you're into that. Don't have a clue. But yeah, okay, let's talk about price. So as you can see, this one's $57.86 on AliExpress. This is one of the cheaper ones. I found one for. This is one that's pretty. These are okay. These are decently priced ones, and then there's some other ones that cost a little more. It's not bad, like $5. But I'd rather just buy the cheaper one. So I bought one. Oh, orders. Nope, I almost closed the wrong thing. I bought one for $57.38, which is this one, but the price increased just a bit. Now, these are almost sold out. It said 30 sold, or 30 left when I bought one, and now there's 10 left. Don't know. And this one didn't even say how many were left before, but now it says there's 6 left. Oh, they're selling like hotcakes. Okay, you better buy one as soon as you can. 10,000 plus sold of that version. I don't know which version. It could be either version. But either way, they're selling like hotcakes. Buy one now. They're really cheap. You can't go wrong. I don't know how I don't know how Machenike went from we have 250 to 500 hertz controllers to just out of nowhere 2000 hertz controllers. It doesn't make sense to me, but I'm not complaining. Less than a year ago, they launched a controller that had some of the worst Hall effect joysticks I've ever seen. And now they're making their own modules and they're hot swappable. And they're the most accurate joysticks to date, which is absolute insanity. They must have upped their like team or something, and they have. This is the best controller to date, right next to the Vader 4 Pro. Thing is incredible. I haven't gotten used to 4 back paddles, so I've used the Elite Series 2 for about a year. It absolutely sucked. I hated the controller with a passion. It is not a controller I would ever recommend to anybody ever. But it had 4 back paddles, and that was the selling point here. I never got used to the 4 back paddles, to be honest. I usually ended up using 2. And then I, since then, have been using a GameSir T4K. This thing sounds like garbage compared to the FlyDigi controllers. Those are the back pedals, which had 2 back buttons. I used that for about a year, and then the trigger broke. Cheap Chinese plastic. What do you expect? So I had to buy a new controller. I was like, hey, I'll just use this Xbox controller, the standard one that I have, until I get the Apex 4. Now I've used this since launch, and then I'm switching over to the Vader 4 Pro. And now I will be happily switching to the G6 Pro Star Flash Edition. The Star Flash Edition has the 2000 hertz. I think the regular one doesn't. I'm not sure. See, 1000 hertz. I think it's the same exact controller with 1000 hertz. It's $10 less. 47.78, 47.86. It's $10 less if you don't care about the response time. For me, that's the main selling point here. That's the main selling point. No other controller on the market has 2000 hertz pulling rate. There is reviews out for this controller. They are, I think it's Portuguese. they speak Portuguese. I don't understand a word they're saying. The only information I have to go off of is the AliExpress landing page for the product itself. So that's nice. And literally on the Machenike uh, website, they don't have anything about the G6 Pro or the G6 Pro Star Flash, which is odd. It's kind of like how FlyDigi doesn't even mention the fact that there's a Vader 4 Pro. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. And the fact that I think it's because it hasn't officially released yet, though, is what it is. I think that's why. But yeah, the Vader 4 Pro officially launches the 10th of August, which is 3 days, considering the fact that it is 1:47 in the morning. And yeah, I don't know, I'm just super hyped for this controller. Here, I'll show you how long it's gonna take to get to me. Here's my order. Hopefully I'm not showing anything I'm not supposed. I paid $7.38 and I got a coupon for $1, and I'm using some of my coins for 57 cents. So it comes August the 13th to the 18th. I will be doing a review on this controller, and the review of this controller might be before the FlyDigi Vader 4 Pro review, just because I'm trying to compare the Apex 3, Apex 4, and the Vader 4 Pro, all in one video. So I'm going to be spending the next hour of my night editing this video. So I hope y'all have a good one. See you in the next video. Peace.